self-conscious.
I did the math.
Never.
7 buttons on the shirt.
Never.
There were 4 undone, and now only 3.
I'm sorry,
So, Maxim, never self-conscious, ever? You never have a moment where you're like, oh, maybe not?
I'm in a terrible profession where self-consciousness is in the way.
You know what? You and me both.
Yes.
It's among the many things we share in common. Oddly enough, and not in an awkward way, everything that has happened in the world obviously brings up a lot of conversation about what happened 10 years ago on September 11th. And I was not aware of this until very recently. You were at the World Trade Center on 9/11.
Really?
Well, nobody was really aware of that. I've never spoken about this. But yeah, no, I went to Pace University and then I had to drop out because of dancing, and then I came back because I wanted to finish my education to Brooklyn College. I started a dance program, you know, combining pleasure and not so pleasure. And we already lived in Jersey, so path, you know, New Jersey Transit to Hoboken, dropped my brother off. He went to Hoboken private school. Path train to World Trade Center, and then, you know, I'm supposed to take a D train to Brooklyn, and kind of decided to walk around, walk out, and the first plane hit.
Wow.
And it was literally right up there.
What went through your mind, Maxim?
I don't really know, but my first instinct was to get back to my family. And I hopped in the train, came out, 10 billion missed calls and messages and everything, and it was kind of surreal. And I got stuck in Brooklyn for 3 days because we couldn't go back. So then we walked, you know, across Brooklyn Bridge when the quarantine was off, and I remember it was surreal. But you know, I wasn't really touched by it seriously. It was just a situation for me. I had a lot of my friends, because I already had a dance studio, and a lot of parents of my kids. We're talking successful lawyers, doctors, amazing cars, you know, Mercedes, Bentleys wouldn't start. And stories like this have been around. There's been many, many stories. My brother's girlfriend at the time was, her sister was working on the 72nd floor, and in an amazing position, said she had a headache and she had to go, and her boss said, if you leave, I'll fire you. She walked out and realized what happened when she had left the building, and that's the first floor that got hit. So it's crazy, but I'm just glad. And I'm not promoting violence, you know, but in layman's terms, not like what Josh said, he's an expert, but I'm glad he's dead. So, but that's just me. I don't know how it's looked upon. A lot of people were touched. I was in Brooklyn. I wish I was in New York 2 days ago, but
You love this country. You talk about it a lot. You said thank you to our troops. I saw your tweet that
always,
you said.
I mean, you know, I have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned the hard way, and I came here and I saw what opportunity means to people. And I'm just a little sad when people in this country, like that idiot that was running from cops, is not taking the opportunity to make the best out of you. And it's really sad.
When all this news came out Sunday night, you tell me, did you immediately think back?
Immediately. Oh, man. I mean, I just called my friends and a lot of people in New York. I still live in New York, so it's home to me. It's kind of like turning the page. Osama was for 10 years kind of like a mystical figure, you know.
And boogeyman in a way.
Exactly. And it almost seemed like he was laughing at the whole situation. Nobody could find me, blah, blah. And then there we are. The pitiful photo of him kind of, I think Obama said it the best. Everybody's going to be brought to justice one way or another at one point or another. So
different topic entirely, but what you're known and admired for.
Is it the chest you're trying to talk about?
No, and criticize. No, but the show, you tell me, and I'll say it in an impolite way, you guys have gone a lot farther than anybody thought you would.
Yes, and I think that was the main point of our partnership. Not a stellar moment, but she
forgot a little last night, right?
You know what? I was looking, I'm like, okay, she doesn't know the steps anymore, but
that's
I'm
okay.
just loving how much fun she's having.
She's having a great time.
Not only that, but the stamina.
Attitude.
We're talking like 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. She came in, we met, and I said, okay, well, let's try a little cha-cha, and I taught her about 10 seconds of the routine. Okay, let's try to do it quick, right, to the music. We did it, and the next thing you know, she's on the floor panting, and having a heart attack. Next thing you know, 7 weeks later, she's dancing
Look at how good she looks.
And you know what, we all, you tell me, because I always say, several of the pros have been here, I think you start off with these different pieces of clay. She, to be honest, to me seemed like a more challenging piece of clay than other pieces of clay.
I approached this season differently than any other season. I've been blessed to have had amazing partners. Some of them were in great shape, some weren't, but they were all amazing. With Kirsty, she came in and I looked at it and I said, okay, you know what? This is probably the first time that I'm being challenged as a coach and as a teacher. And if I'm going to talk about how much dancing does for your body, this is when I need to prove it. So she's my proof.
You know what? It's very nice to speak with you. Thanks so much.
And I'm sorry, but do you see what happens?
I know it pops open.
You know what?
It's not your fault, Max.
It's more comfortable.
You just be comfortable.
We're effectively the same person. Show is on tonight. Who goes home tonight?
You just
we'll
be
find
you,
out. You
Maxim.
come back here anytime, Maxim.